I'd like to welcome on stage our next speaker. He has more than 20 years of experience in advanced analytics and AI, and he is currently an expert partner at Bain Company, one of the global leading management consulting firms in the world. So ladies and gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, please put your hands together to help me welcome on stage Mr. Guido Vetter.
Good afternoon, as well from my side. And I'm really looking forward to this event as well, as it's one of the first ones after the COVID break we are actually participating in, and it's great to see people in person again. I have the honor to talk to you about data monetization, the need of the hour. And as Rocher and Kirsten already said, there's a big need in the organizations, how we use our data, how we leverage the value and the power of data we see out there, and how we get this billion zettabytes turned in business value and turned in monetization value. And I will go today through three main points with you. First questions, why is data monetization the need of the hour? How should you approach data monetization? What do you need to consider in order to be really successful in monetizing your data? Which areas you cover? And which, I would say, three key steps you should take to embark on the journey for monetizing the data you have in your organizations. When we go on the first one, why is data monetization the need of the hour? There are two different things we have to differentiate when we look on data monetization, two aspects of it. One of them is the external data monetization, and that is something what we see very often when we work with our clients, that we are confronted with questions, how can we make money out of our data? Who wants our data? Whom can we sell our data to? And that's the wrong journey. That's the wrong road you embark on when you just think about selling your data to somebody else who wants to use your data because they want to make value out of the data. They want to generate value out of the data. And why should you give that value to somebody else? Leverage on your own. And that's the second route you have to embark on. That's what I'm talking about. How can you monetize your data within your organization or for your organization? And there are three main elements what we can focus on when we talk about data monetization. First of all, use your data to optimize your existing business. We call that Engine 1 business, so that's what your company's vision is, what your company's strategy is. Use your data to optimize this business processes, manufacturing process you have in there. That can be easy things. Use your data to visualize business relationships. How many customers came to a store? What did they buy? Make simple visualization of that with different tools you can have and go in the business that really people can think about what's happening and drive decisions based on data and data insights they're generated. You can as well go a step further and apply analytical methodologies, go in predictions, go in forecasting. For example, when I was working in the industry before at Mercedes-Benz, we completely turned around our forecasting methodologies in our financial departments where we had machines later on doing our forecasting that optimized business processes and freed up resources to do more value-adding tasks. And this is as well a kind of monetization of data because you need to focus that you get the most out of your resources and streamline your existing businesses. Another aspect is you can use your data to innovate your business. Think about areas where you can add value-added service to your clients to make more value for them and in turn generate more revenue for you. Giving some examples, we work with clients together where we say, in the retail environment, how can you use data to cross and upsell, to make creative pricing, to make demand forecasting, to make product placement strategies based on data on customer behaviors, things that's really innovative for some retailers in the region, as well as we did in the automotive industries. Think about predictive maintenance of cars, predictive maintenance of fleets, routing innovations with freight forwarders. So a lot of innovation things you can do with data, what at the end you can monetize. Either you in turn optimize yourself internally or you generate new services for your client base outside of your current value offering. And the third one, and I personally think one of the most important one, think about digital disruption based on data. Because we see in the market a lot of developments that a lot of startups, smaller companies, but as well big players in the market think about to embark in business areas we are actually not in and disrupt existing industries. Yeah, when you see for financial services, for example, there are a lot of virtual banks coming up, virtual financial institutions. They will disrupt the banking industry massively. Why should you leave that field to others when you can start yourself doing that? Because you have the data and you have the assets to move in that business fields. And the same is happening on the automotive industry and a lot of manufacturing industries. It's happening where new players come and want to disrupt the industries and really make your business potentially obsolete or step between you and the client with your businesses. And this interface you should not lose. And therefore you should really think of how can you digitalize your business and how can you embark on engine 2 discussions. So what should be your future business, what you can drive by data. And that is as well an aspect of monetizing your data. So it's a lot of talking about what you can do. But the question every organization faces, how should we do that actually? What do we need to consider and how should we approach this data monetization? And in our day-to-day work in the consulting business, we very often see companies started. Everybody did something. That is not that nobody thought about the topics. People are working on that. And people started with the one or the other use case, but all face the challenge, the majority face the challenges. It doesn't scale. It doesn't materialize the benefits we predicted in the beginning. We cannot reach the targets we wanted to reach. So how can we really get that and how can we really materialize the value we predicted or we foresaw out of our data and how we can move forward there? When you want to do that, what we always recommend our clients, do a step back, think big. Yeah, and we always, in the think big approach, we have 2 elements. We say have a today forward view. So think how you want your business to be developed from today in the future. And take a step side and make a future back view. So where want you to be in 20 years without considering what you currently have and think backwards. Then you get a huge field of ideas, brainstorm initiatives, use case ideas. And then the big challenge is pick the right ones and start small. Have your vision ready, have your big picture ready, work toward that objective, but start small. And very important, keep moving because it will not be a smooth ride. Yeah, when you start optimizing certain business areas, when you start innovating, certain things will fail. And that's not bad, that's actually good. If you identify that early enough, keep moving, maybe take a detour, but don't forget your big picture, what you want to achieve. And very important, focus on value generation. We see a lot of clients as well coming to us and say, we did this technology stuff, we did this, we worked on an organization, but it doesn't work because it's not adopted from the business side. Really focus on the value generation. Whatever you do, check out that it's either optimizing your bottom line of your business, optimizing your top line, or ideally, if you find use cases doing both would be perfect, or is contributing to new business ventures you have envisioned to do and you want to embark on for the future. That sounds very easy. It's very easy to have a discussion. We have a use case, put an ROI on that. Rocher said in the beginning how difficult it can be as well to calculate an ROI. When you move on discussions of maybe initiatives you need to drive, what's not implicitly driving business value and not explicitly driving an ROI, you need to tie it to some of those activities that everything you do is really meaningful to focus on monetizing the value of your data. And we always talk about a holistic approach doing that and really to grow your data ecosystem for your company and for the partners you're working with. And it all starts with value-driving use cases. From the big picture discussion I had a couple of minutes ago, really focus on the use cases. And for the beginning, when you start that journey, really our recommendation, keep the main focus on the use case discussion, what you can do, and focus when you discuss use cases on 2 elements. The value is the most important one, and the feasibility. Are you in a position as an organization to deliver these use cases, to deliver these new business models? If this is the case, put them on a 2x2 matrix and really start a prioritization. This gives you the first roadmap for value. Then you see what's easy to achieve, what gives us a high value. That should be a focus area. But that's not enough. If you have this in line, you have the fundamental decision taken, what you should do, and now we come to the question, how you should do that. First of all, when you do data analytics work, data monetization, it's something you have to put focus and emphasis on. You need to think about an organizational change, your organizational model, your operating model. that somebody, some team in your organization is focusing really on the data aspects, what you need. In all of the industries where we worked in, you need new talents, you need new roles working with the data. You need things like data scientists, data engineers, what you might not have in your organization that has to be onboarded or sourced externally in order to get started. You need to think about data management and data processes. How do you treat your data? How do you handle your data assets? Everybody is taking care of the physical assets to operate your business, but data is an asset as well. You have to manage that and you have to process that professionally. You have to implement governance and legal guidelines, legal regulations, so you have to consider them. Because when you start combining data, you might face legal issues, whether you're allowed or not allowed to, depending on the industry you're working in. You might be a regulated industry, financial services, banking. You have to consider what you do. When you come to personal related data, you have to be careful what you do with the data, not to breach any regulations and to always be on the safe side. Technology. I think today we have a lot of technology partners here as well. It's important and it's the key vehicle to drive monetization out of your data, but it's, to be honest, not the first thing to focus on. You must make sure that technology is there and enables you to, on your journey, to deliver the value, and you have to carefully architect on the technology what you need. Luckily, the industry developed the last couple of years, so you have a very good range of enterprise-ready products which you can use, which are way easier to handle than 5 or 6 years ago, to help you to drive that from a technology perspective forward as well. And you have tools as well available nowadays for the advanced data users and as well for end users on the data side to democratize your data usage in the organization as well. But that needs a thorough thinking what you want to do there. The last topic on this slide, and for me personally and from the experience working with our clients, one of the most important ones, think about data culture and data literacy of your organization. Traditional organizations don't have a data focus. Yeah, you need to think how you bring that mindset of data-driven business into your organizations. And we already saw projects and companies fail who worked on all the other 4 elements but didn't focus on the data culture aspects, because then the organization doesn't absorb it, does not adopt it. And this is not a topic only for your blue-collar or white-collar workers. That goes from the top of the house, from the CEO to the blue-collar workers, if you operate plants in the plants or in the office spaces where you're in. This is the approach we always recommend, but we see successful as well to work on when you focus this holistically in order to drive monetization out of your data. That's a lot now what you should do and what you should focus on, but the question is, what should be specifically our first steps in order to move in that journey or move on that journey? What we strongly recommend, define your data strategy and execution plan. And you see on that slide, there's as well business strategy on that slide. And that's the key thing, what should be your first step. When you think about monetizing your data and implementing a data strategy, align that with your business strategy and make it and put it in shape that it supports really your business strategy. But that's the objective of the business. We want to grow our business, whatever your objective is, focus your data activities in support of that. Secondly, build a tailored roadmap for the implementation. The 5 elements I showed on the slide before are the same elements for each and every company to consider, but it's always tailored in a different manner because the situation of the company is different, your roadmap might be different, the time frame you position yourself on might be different, so really tailor that to your company and take a decent amount of time in the beginning of your journey to set that up and build your roadmap for yourself. And as well build inflection points where you revise your roadmap, review your roadmap while you're on the journey. And lastly, focus on result delivery. We very often see situations where companies have their roadmap, they start executing, and they manage it like a project. It's more than a project. It's a journey what you're embarking on, and you should really focus on the result delivery in order to get the value out of your data you want to get out of and monetize accordingly. And lastly, keep the focus on have stamina. I already said it's not a project what you're going to do when you embark on a data analytics strategy, on data monetization strategy. It's a journey, and it will have up and downs, and that's absolutely okay. And you have to live with that, and you have to use that as learnings to move you really forward in the process. And lastly, data, as well as Rocher and Kirsten said, data is everywhere. And everybody of you in your organization, you have tons of data, maybe not zettabytes, but tons of data. The only thing what you need to do, and that sounds very easy, you need to make it available for your business users or for your data users, accessible and actionable. That means you need to know what data you have, where the data is, what you can do with the data, what you cannot do with the data. And when you've achieved all of that, then you have to monetize the insights and the results out of your data for the future business growth. This is, from our point of view and from our experience, the key thing. Really, the data is there, but you have to take it holistically in order to achieve the success. And as I opened up in the beginning, 2 options of data monetization. One is sell your data. The second one is leverage the benefits out of data for yourself. And we see clients achieving massive results with realizing the benefits for themselves and not selling the data because somebody else wants to use your business and wants to disrupt your business with the data you have. So better do it yourself and take the monetization effects for your business. And if you do it cleverly as well, the side aspect of that, you can turn that in a self-funding strategy because you monetize benefits out of your use case development, what will help you if you build a clever roadmap to finance your execution part for technical implementations and on. With that, I wish you a very nice summit, and I hope I could inspire you a little bit what data monetization means. If you have questions today, I'm around the whole day, happy to interact with you, happy to discuss further. Thank you very much and have a great summit.